Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are hauling. I have a major Sephora, but also Ulta and a few other brands in there as well haul. This was mostly supposed to be a Sephora haul, but then I found one or two things at Ulta, and then lo and behold, a few brands had major sales during the month of June, so I definitely wanted to take advantage of those as well. So I end up having quite a large haul. It wasn't exactly meant to be that way, but in the end, that's kind of where we ended up. So if that sounds good to you, let's have a little fun. So we'll start with Sephora. A few months ago, maybe 2 months ago, I got terrible news from a makeup perspective. I learned that one of my ride or die holy grail high-end concealers was being discontinued. And I know this is a first world problem. I recognize that. But I just had this moment of panic. And I think there's two ways to respond to this moment. You can either go out and buy every possible box of that product you can find, which I am sure women do, or I decided to take the other approach, which is, okay, well, this is a really good reason to try out some more high-end concealers to see if I can find one that I like as good or better, because I do have some nice high-end concealers that I like. They just can be a little temperamental, maybe a little tricky, maybe they don't work so well with this foundation or this sunscreen or this moisturizer or something like that. So I have to think about them, where I have two high-end concealers that are my holy grails, like they just don't fail me. One of them is the Dior Forever. I absolutely love that one. The other one is from Lancome. This is it's called Magic Couplet, I think. I apologize if I'm butchering that name. And this is the one that's being discontinued. And I just, like I said, I just got really sad. So I decided to try a few of these high-end concealers. So I picked up 3 of them. All of these had been recommended by family, by friends. And I thought, you know what? Well, we'll try them out and see how we like them. Some of them are newer, but others are just new to me. So the 3 I picked up, the first one is from Mercier. This is her Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. I've heard very, very good things about this concealer. And I've tried it 1 or 2 times, and so far so good. It's actually the concealer I'm wearing today. The shade, I actually got the wrong shade. I had to return it and get a new shade, but this shade is perfect for me. This is shade 1N, but so far so good. I gotta try it a few more times, but I like it so far. The other 2 I haven't really played around with too much. The second one is from Hourglass. This is their Vanish concealer, airbrush concealer in the shade Creme. I did pick up the mini version of this. I love mini versions just because I can try them out and I'm not making a huge investment. And if I like it, great. If I don't like it, I'm not out a huge amount of money. So I'll be trying this one out. And then the last one, I've been thinking about trying this concealer for a good year, and I finally just bit the bullet and said, you know what, I'm gonna try it. This is from Mcgrath Labs. This is her Sublime concealer. What is it called? It's called Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. I ended up buying this pairing it with the setting powder. This is their her under eye setting powder. And I had heard that this is great, but these two together are just amazing. And I'm always looking for a good under eye setting powder, because I have some setting powders that I absolutely love, but I only have a few that work under my eyes. This is the problem as we get older, where I have got this kind of oily combination skin, but under my eyes are much drier, much crepier. And so sometimes I can wear gorgeous setting powders that look great on my skin, but they make me look 10 years older under my eyes. So I gotta be a little bit more careful. So like I said, I'm always on the lookout for a really good under eye setting powder. So moving on, I ended up picking up a few products from Makeup by Mario, his new launch. So he launched, his first launch, I think came out at the end of last year or in the winter, like early 2021. And I'll be honest, nothing really spoke to me. I didn't buy anything from the launch. He had like an eyeshadow palette, like one was mattes and one was shimmers. And I was kind of like, I felt like it was more geared towards makeup artists versus geared towards, you know, normal consumers. And again, nothing really spoke to me. Now, this new launch is a whole different world. everything spoke to me in this new launch, but specifically his cream stick, both bronzer, contours, or whatever, I think he calls them sculpting sticks, and blushes. These just had my name on them, especially because I've been obsessed with cream products lately. I never thought I could really use them with my oily skin, but I have had a lot of luck with a lot of cream products lately, and I feel like every brand is jumping on this bandwagon. So I ended up picking these up. This is the sculpting stick in light. This is just beautiful. I've been playing around with this for the last week and I am obsessed. This is like all I've been using and I just love it. Let's see if I can swatch that for you. But it just blends out beautifully. It is not too orange. It comes with its own brush. It's got these little speckles and these brushes can be removed, so easy to clean, but you can just stipple them. And what I learned is you got to stipple. You can't swipe. If you stipple it, I actually watched one of his videos on Sephora's website, but it just blends out so beautifully. And the blushes are also just stunning. I picked up Pale Petal is the one I picked up, which is just this beautiful kind of baby pink. But it just this really, really pretty baby pink shade for summer. And again, you just stipple and it just blends out. And I've been having a lot of fun with these. He did also launch powder bronzers and powder blushes. I've heard they're beautiful. They just didn't speak to me nearly as much as these cream products did. But I did pick up one of his highlighters. This is in the shade Pearl. And I picked this one up because I am more into more subtle highlights, just because I find that really blinding or glittery highlights tend to accentuate texture, you know, in the exact places I don't want to accentuate texture. And this shade Pearl seemed much more fine, and it is. I've used it a few times and it does have, don't get me wrong, it does have shimmer, but it's not, you know, it's actually, let me put that on my hand so you can see it. It does have shimmer, but it's not glittery, it's not chunky, it's just a really pretty, kind of like I said, a subtle highlight. You know, you're not going to see me from space. There's no landing strip on my face with this shade, but it's just really subtle and very, very pretty. I've been very happy with these products. I've only had them for like 2 weeks and I am obsessed with all of them. So some other things I picked up the new Hydroflex Serum Foundation by Tarte. I have tried this a few times. It's in the shade 20N or light neutral. I think this might be the wrong shade for me. I generally use the fair light neutral, and I picked up the light neutral in this, and there's something wrong about it. I don't know if it's just a shade problem or it's just a formula problem, but there's just something I'm not crazy about. I had really high hopes too, because I love the Tarte Maracuja Oil Tinted Hydrator. And I thought this was going to be in the same vein, but it's not. It's not great coverage, which again, I didn't expect from a serum foundation, but I'm just not, I don't know. I'm just not liking it. I'm just not feeling it. So I'm going to try it a few more times to see if this is just a me problem, because, you know, obviously sometimes it's just a me problem, but yeah, this is just not for me. I also picked up this from Drunk Elephant. This is their De-Bronzy Anti-Pollution Drops. Someone had recommended to me to use these as adding them to your foundation. So if your foundation's too light, this would be a good option to, you know, put a drop or two into your foundation, especially in the summer, because, you know, we get a little sun and sometimes we don't necessarily want to go and buy a brand new foundation. I haven't tried these out, but I'm hoping I can. I have a few foundations. I mean, I'm pretty fair regardless of the time of year, but I have 1 or 2 foundations that are definitely more winter shades than summer shades. So I want to see if this helps me out a little bit. A few other things I picked up the Dior Powder No Powder. This is in the shade 0N, Zero Neutral. I really like this powder. It has a sheen to it. It is very finely milled. Now, if I'm trying to mattify my skin, obviously this is not the powder I would reach for, but this just gives this really pretty glow. And so far I have been really, really enjoying it. I love that you don't feel, it's very velvety. You do not feel like you have powder on your face. You do not look like you have powder on your face. And so far this has been wonderful. A few other things I picked up from Rare Beauty. I picked up 2 of the Soft Pinch blushes. This is in the shade, I think this is Bliss. This is one of the matte versions. I did pick up a dewy version as well, but the shade, I got it home and it was like fluorescent pink. They actually didn't have the shade I wanted, and so I thought, oh, I'll get a different one. And no, it's like fluorescent pink. It just did not work for me. So I ended up returning it. But I have tried this one out a few times. This is a really, really, I mean, again, I don't know what it is about baby pink, but I've been obsessed with baby pink recently. And that's exactly what this is. This is kind of this baby pink. So I'm still trying it out, because what I have found is that it is quite pigmented, and you can go from 0 to clown cheek in about 1.2 seconds. So you have to be careful, but let's see if you can see that swatch. But it is, you know, you can almost see it's very similar to the Pale Petal of the Makeup by Mario, but really, really pretty, soft pale pink shade. The last thing I picked up from Sephora, I already know, unfortunately, is going to be a fail for me. I picked up the new Fenty Heat Gloss Bomb. So I am a huge fan of the Gloss Bomb, the Fenty Gloss Bomb formula. I love it. I have it in a few shades. I think I have the shade Fussy, and then I have the original shade. I can't remember what they call it, but it's the original shade. And so when I noticed they had a plumping one, I was like, cool, okay, I'll try that. And so it only comes in the one shade, which is the Hot Cherry. Don't get me wrong, this is actually a really nice shade. I really like it. However, whatever they're using for the plumping, every brand does their own thing for plumping. I'm not sure what they use in here. I haven't looked, but it blistered me. I like got blisters on my lips from it. And I was like, well, that is not gonna work for me. So unfortunately, that's gonna end up going back. So that's my Sephora haul. I did pick up 1 or 2 items, or 1 item from Ulta. I ended up picking up this Benefit Air Goddess Forest Scope Blush and Highlight Palette. So funny story about this. This comes in 3 separate palettes. There's an Air Goddess, there's an Earth Goddess, and there's a Fire Queen, I think. And the first time I saw this, I was like, what? Okay. So, because I thought it was funny that it's called Forest Scope. And granted, it's called Forest Scope because there's 4 shades in it. But I kept thinking, well, where's the water? Like, why is there not a water goddess or whatever? And it's just odd. It seems odd to me. It seems so odd that you would have earth, fire, and air, but not water. I don't know. I just find it weird, I guess. I would love to have been a fly in the wall in the meeting where they decided that this was fine. That they were like, oh yeah, no one will notice. No one will notice that there's no water goddess or whatever. Just so weird to me, right? Does anyone else find this weird? I find it weird. Anyway, originally, when I looked at these palettes, I'm a big fan of the Benefit face palettes. And I have one already. It's the Cheek Leaders palette, but it's kind of big and bulky. And so I was like, oh, wow, you know, I originally had a different one in my cart. I had the Earth one in my cart. The reason I put it in my cart is it had both the Hoola bronzer, which if you haven't tried is a wonderful, wonderful bronzer. I highly recommend trying it. And it also had the highlight cookie, which is probably in my top 3 highlights of all time. I love the cookie highlight. And it had both of those products in it, and I had put it in my cart. I was like, oh, this is great. And I was literally about to check out, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you buying a palette where 2 out of the 4 products you already own? And I'll be honest, in that Cheek Leaders palette, the blushes in there, I'm not crazy about. I think it's Gold Rush. Actually, let me grab it. So I was talking about it, so I figured I would just grab it. So I've got this Cheek Leaders Bronze Squad. Now this is discontinued, but as you can see, it comes with Hoola. It comes with this Hoola Caramel, which is great in your crease, by the way. And then it comes with the cookie highlight. So the 2 blushes that it comes with this Gold Rush, which has this kind of gold overspray on it, which is just not my thing. And then this Coralista, I thought I was gonna love it. I love corally blushes, but it just isn't anything special. I just didn't really like it. And it's kind of big, it's kind of bulky. So in my head, I was like, oh, I'll just buy that. And then again, what I realized is, well, you already have Hoola, you already have Cookie. Why not look at one of the others? And so once I did that, I decided to buy the Air Goddess one because it's all products I don't own and all things I wanted to try. So it has this dandelion shade, which this is such a pretty pale pink blush. I've tried it once or twice. I already love it. It's just the perfect pale pink. And then I've tried this Blaze highlight, which is not as nice as Cookie. I don't like it as much as I like Cookie, but it's still a really nice subtle highlight as well. I have not used this Georgia blush before. I've heard good things, and I'm so excited to use this Solstice blush because that's one of the new shades that came out with this. So I guess my advice is if you don't own Hoola or you don't own Cookie, then maybe the Earth palette would be the one because that's a more complete palette because it's got a bronzer, a highlight, and 2 blushes. And honestly, I think a lot of people thought that because I think it's already out of stock. But if you already own Hoola or Cookie, then maybe pick up this one because this has got some great blushes in here and the highlight is really, really nice. So I'll have an update on this once I play with it more, but so far I'm really, really liking it. So I told you originally that this was supposed to just be a Sephora and maybe an Ulta haul, but as I said before, a bunch of brands had some really good sales and I realized there were some things I wanted to try and things I wanted to stock up on. So one of those brands was Glossier. I picked up another Boy Brow. This is their fiber brow gel. This is one of my favorite brow gels. I prefer brow gels. They're my favorite brow product. And this is such a great one. It's really easy to work with. It doesn't make your brows really crunchy and it's very forgiving. So if you smear it, you can easily remove it versus some brow gels, they're just not easy to remove. So I picked up a replacement because mine is getting a little low. So I picked that up. And then I always wanted to try their lip balm. This is their balm.com. This is in mango. So they have a few ones that are tinted, a few ones that are not tinted, and they have different smells. I have really liked this. There's not a great applicator on it. I wish it came with, like, you know how Blisteck has that little slanted applicator. I wish this had that. The product, the actual formula, and I love lip balm. Like if I was on a desert island, I'd be like, lip balm, I want lip balm. So this is definitely a good one so far. And then the other thing I picked up, I wanted to try the Lid Star formula, which is their liquid eyeshadow formula. I've been testing out a lot of liquid and cream eyeshadows, and I absolutely wanted to try the ones from Glossier. First of all, I love the packaging. Look at this packaging. It looks like little test tubes. I just think that's so cute. And then they unscrew and it has a doe foot applicator, which is a little weird, but I picked up, this is Herb, and then this is the shade Cub, which is like their rose gold is the best way I can describe it, but they call it Cub. And it seems pretty pigmented. I haven't tried these out yet, so you'll get an update, but you can see this is the Herb shade and that is Cub right there. So we'll have to see how it works out. And then finally, I took advantage of the sale at Sigma Beauty. So if you aren't aware, Sigma is very well known for their makeup brushes, whether it be their face brushes or their eyeshadow brushes. If you're looking for really good professional brushes, I can't say enough about Sigma. Now, don't get me wrong, there are good makeup brushes through the drugstore, Eco Tools, Real Techniques. These are all good brushes. But if you're looking to up your game, your makeup game, then I would highly recommend considering Sigma brushes. And so Sigma is having this up to 75% off sale. So I picked up a few things. I picked up a concealer brush. This is an angled concealer brush. They call it their Precision Flat Angled. It says P88. I picked this up because I had gotten an angled concealer brush in an Ipsy bag, and I usually use a sponge to blend out my concealer. That's always been my preferred way, But I had always wanted to try to use a brush, and like I said, I got this angled concealer brush and I really liked it. So I thought, well, I wonder if Sigma has something like that, and they do. And so I picked this up, and I'm really excited to try it out because I really like that technique. It's, you know, kind of a little easier than a sponge. The other thing I picked up, I've been staring at this for over a year. There is a method to my madness. Now I have not put it together, but this is a brush carousel. This holds up to 44 brushes. And so basically the idea is you wash them and you dry them upright. And the reason I've been staring at this is the way I clean makeup brushes is I have two big makeup brush sets. And basically I rotate them. So I'll use one for 1 to 2 weeks, and then I'll just put them away and then use the other set. And then so once a month, I wash all my brushes. And it's an event. Usually I've got like a kid in the bath and I'm like just sitting there washing all my brushes, and I just literally lay them all out on the countertop in my bathroom, and they stay there for like a day, and my poor husband has no counter space, nothing, because all my brushes are there. And so I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to take up so much less space. And frankly, it's better for your brushes if you wash them and dry them upright, because then the water doesn't seep in and break down the glue that's holding those brushes in place. So this was a no-brainer for me. When this went on like 40% off, I was like, yep, I am gonna buy that. The other thing I bought is a cleansing set. This includes all 3 of their brush cleansing products. They have a solid scrub, they have a liquid, and they have a foam. So I figure I would try all 3 and kind of decide which one I like the best. And you know, I'll end up probably picking out the one I like the best and use that one. But this was a great deal, so I grabbed that. And then the other thing I bought, I am so excited about. Sigma also makes makeup, and they are very well known for their eyeshadow formula as well, which makes sense because they make amazing eyeshadow brushes. I have had my eye on this eyeshadow palette for over a year. I think it came out last spring, I believe. Oh, but I have had my eye on it and I just couldn't justify it. I was like, oh my God, it was like $46. I was like, I have enough eyeshadow palettes. But it went on sale and I picked it up, I think for $31. It's the Corta Rosa. This is so pretty, you guys. This is such, I apologize for the glare. This is such a pretty eyeshadow palette. And not only is it a beautiful eyeshadow palette, but it also comes with a double-ended Sigma brush, right? So, I mean, it's to die for. I'm so excited to use it. I probably won't review it on my channel because I kind of, that ship has sailed. Most people reviewed this palette a year ago and it showed up on, you know, in their top 3 palettes of 2020. So I probably won't review it, but you know, if you want to see a review of it, let me know. If you want to see some looks with it, let me know. But I plan to seriously enjoy this makeup palette. So that's it, guys. I hope you really liked seeing this haul, this kind of unexpected haul that kind of grew and became kind of ginormous. And you're gonna see a lot of these products in recent videos. I'm working on, you know, trying out all these different concealers to see if I can replace my Magic Couplet, my Lancome. Lancome even launched a new concealer, which I have ordered, but I haven't gotten it yet. So I'm probably gonna do a review on that once I get it. You know, never know, maybe the new Lancome concealer is gonna replace the other Lancome concealer. You never know. And I'm also gonna be doing a video on some cream and liquid eyeshadows and also some cream and liquid blushes. So a lot to come over the next few weeks. So I hope you stick around. I hope you like this video. And if you like this content, I hope you'll subscribe and join our little family on YouTube. I hope to see you soon in my next video. Bye, you guys.